Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to pull out the really useful stuff from interesting sources, making it work for you. Today, we're diving into Chris Guillebeau's The $100 Startup.
Yeah, this one's great. Think of it as a guide for, ditching the typical career path,
Mhm.
maybe doing something you actually love, and really building a future where you call the shots.
Exactly. And it hits on that feeling, right, that so many of us have, feeling a bit stuck or limited in the standard job.
That desire for more control, more meaning. What's really cool about this book is how it just kind of dismantles the idea that you need a fortune or some massive complex business plan to start something worthwhile.
Right. It's not just theory either. It's packed with real stories. People like Alan Paul, Kevin Kelly, he even mentions trying a few of these $100 startup ideas himself. They've praised it.
And John Janch, too. They all highlight how practical it is. Here's how real people actually did this kind of thing.
So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Pull out the most actionable bits from the $100 startup, specifically for you listening.
Yeah, we want to show you practical examples, see how these ideas could, fit into your life. Doesn't matter what skills you have now or where you're at. We're aiming for those light bulb
Well,
moments.
aha moments without drowning you in info. Okay, so let's kick things off. The book talks about this micro business revolution. When we hear startup, we often think Silicon Valley, big money.
Right, unicorns and venture capital.
Right.
But this book zooms in on something different. Micro businesses.
Yeah.
These are ventures started without huge investments, often no employees right away, no elaborate years-long plans.
It's more like a let's try this and see what happens vibe.
Exactly.
Mm.
Very agile. It's a huge contrast to that traditional internet startup model, chasing funding rounds and writing those massive business plans.
Plans that often just sit there, right? Guillebeau actually says these folks are rewriting the rules of work, becoming their own bosses. It sounds pretty empowering.
It really is. And it's grounded in stories, like Jessica Reagan Salzman in Massachusetts. Her husband got laid off, and suddenly her bookkeeping hobby wasn't just a hobby anymore.
Wow, it became their main income.
Yeah, the family's full-time income. Or Tara Gentile in Pennsylvania. She just wanted to work from home with her kids. But her business took off so much, her husband ended up staying home too.
Those stories really show it's possible, even when things seem tough or you're starting small. If you're feeling stuck listening right now, maybe this shows you can act fast, even with limited resources.
Absolutely. And running through all these stories, two big themes keep popping up. Freedom and value. They're like the North Star for these entrepreneurs.
Freedom and value. Okay, let's unpack that a bit. How should we think about those when it comes to work?
It's about flipping the script, really. Instead of starting with, how much money do I need to make?
Hmm.
And then squeezing your choices into that box.
You start with what you want to do.
Exactly. What work feels meaningful? What gets you excited? Then you figure out how to make an income from it. It's a different way of ordering things.
That feels, yeah, almost backward compared to how we usually approach careers. The author himself talks about earning enough to pay the bills, sure, but the real prize was escaping the 9-to-5 grind.
No more rigid schedules, pointless reports, office politics, getting that freedom back.
Which makes you think, doesn't it, for anyone listening? What parts of freedom matter most to you? Is it time? Autonomy? Doing work that feels right?
It's a really personal question.
Mhm.
Now, that ties into the whole follow your passion advice we hear all the time. The book points out something crucial that's often missing there.
Ah, yes, the passion trap. What's the key insight?
It's realizing you usually don't get paid just for your hobby. You get paid for helping other people with that hobby or something
Yeah.
related to it. It's about connecting your passion to solving someone else's problem or fulfilling their need.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not just about your enjoyment, but how it benefits others. The book has examples, right?
Oh, yeah. Like Mignon Fogarty, she had this absolute science thing, probably interesting to her, but maybe niche. And she switched to Grammar Girl.
Huge difference. Everyone needs grammar help at some point.
Exactly. Connected her passion for language with a massive audience need. Or Benny Lewis in Ireland loves learning languages,
Right.
right? But he gets paid helping others learn them through his site.
So he's not paid to learn, but to teach.
Precisely. And Brandon, the music teacher, he had his own problem being disorganized. So he built Music Teacher's Helper to solve it for himself and other teachers.
Turning his own headache into a solution for others. Okay, so the actionable thing here is look at your passions, your skills. How could they solve a problem or provide real value for someone else?
And that idea of value is central. The book stresses it's not just about the features of what you sell.
Right, it's about what people actually want. Successful microbusinesses give people something they desire. It taps into those core benefits, the emotional stuff.
Things like making more money or having less stress or just enjoying something more. It's less about the what and more about the why for the customer.
Guillebeau puts it pretty bluntly. Always focus on what you can add or take away to improve someone's life, and then prepare to get paid.
Simple but powerful. It's about the transformation you offer.
And there's that appendix, fish stories, right, to help reframe features into benefits.
Yeah, it gives concrete examples. Like instead of just saying website design services,
Yeah.
which is a feature.
You'd say something like, I help businesses get more customers online. That's the benefit.
Exactly. Speaks directly to their needs, growth, revenue. Okay, let's talk money. Often the scary part. The book says you need to think about it right from the start.
Yeah, integrate the money stuff into the brainstorming, not leave it till the end.
And it gives 3 key questions to ask for basically every single idea you have.
Okay, lay them on us. What are they?
First, how would I actually get paid? Like, what's the mechanism? Second, how much would I get paid per sale or client? Got to think pricing.
And the third?
Third, and this is crucial, is there a way I could get paid more than once from the same customer? That's looking ahead to things like subscriptions, recurring income.
Ah, get in that repeat business. Smart. Super practical questions. Forces you to think about the actual business model early on. There's an example, Gary, right? Start a side gig, now doesn't rely on his day job.
Yeah, shows even a specific, maybe smaller service can provide real financial stability.
Yeah.
So, the action step. Every idea you have, immediately ask, how does the money work?
Makes sense. Now, about that starting capital myth, the $100 startup, the title says it all, but does the book back it up?
Oh, definitely. It's full of stories that blow that myth apart. Michael Trainer, media production, started with $2,500 and got it back pretty quick.
Okay, still a bit more than $100, but not astronomical.
Right. But then Terra Gentile, the publisher we mentioned, $80, made $75,000 in year 1.
$80? Okay, that's impressive.
And Chris Dunphy and Cherie Viard, software consultancy, started with $125, now making over $75K a net, living nomadically. Charlie Pabst, design. $3,600 initial cost, income near $100 now.
Wow, so these aren't just flukes.
Not at all. The average startup cost in the book study group, and they looked at over 1,500 people, was just $610.60.
$600. That really changes the game, doesn't it? Makes it seem possible for almost anyone.
It really does. So for you listening, what skills do you have? What resources, even small ones? How could you use those with minimal cash up front?
And on that money theme, the book talks about fundraising beyond just banks or VCs. Some creative ways people found cash.
Yeah, it stresses that borrowing big is optional. There's that wild story of Emma Reynolds and Bruce Morton. Needed $17,000 for their consultancy. Couldn't get a business loan.
So what did they do?
Got a car loan for $1710K. Used it for the business, paid it back in 10 months. The bank never knew there wasn't a car.
That's a bold, resourceful, definitely.
Right. And Krista McNamara's Jim used community investments, kind of like CDs, got the locals involved.
Building social capital, too.
Exactly. And Naomi Dunford using her network, that social capital, to get access to a credit card she needed. It's about looking beyond just traditional finance.
So think creatively. What resources, financial and social, do you already have access to?
Good takeaway. Okay, let's loop back to getting paid more than once. Recurring income. Why is that such a big deal in the book?
Because it creates stability. Think continuity programs, membership, subscriptions. Instead of chasing one-off sales constantly, you get reliable, repeated payments from the same customers.
Like a software subscription or a monthly box. Much more predictable cash flow.
Right. Less stress, easier planning. Clay Collins and Lead Pages are mentions lots of one-time buyers, but also ongoing support and subscriptions. That builds real long-term value.
And increases that customer lifetime value, how much someone spends with you over time.
The key, though, seems to be building trust first, often with that initial one-time purchase. Prove your value, then offer the ongoing thing.
Makes sense. So the question for listeners, what could you offer ongoing? How could you turn a one-time buyer into a long-term subscriber or member?
Good food for thought. Now, let's shift to making your offer irresistible. The book uses this great analogy, the orange versus the donut.
Yeah, the marathon runner analogy. Love this one.
Explain it. It really clicks.
Yeah, picture a marathon runner, maybe 18 miles in. They're exhausted, thirsty, depleted. A volunteer offers a cold, juicy orange slice. It's perfect, right?
Yeah.
Exactly what they need. Compelling offer.
Totally. Hits the spot.
Then Maybe 2 miles later, another volunteer offers a big, sugary donut. Now, donuts are great, but at that moment, heavy, sugary, makes you feel worse probably. Not compelling at all.
Right. Wrong thing, wrong time.
Exactly. A compelling offer is about context. It's the right audience, getting the right promise at the right time. It understands their immediate need. The book mentions things like the Alaska Coupon Book for tourists or the super generous Bonderman Fellowship for grads. Offers you just can't refuse in that context.
So it boils down to that magic formula, as the book calls it.
Yep. Right audience plus right promise plus right time. Offer you can't refuse. Simple framework, but forces you to really know your customer.
So, action point. Dive deep into your audience. What do they really need right now? What's irresistible to them?
Definitely. But even with a great offer, people might hesitate. Objections come up. How does the book suggest building trust and handling those?
It acknowledges those common worries people have, right? Like, can I trust you with my money? What will other people think? Can I get this for free somewhere? Privacy concerns.
All totally normal hesitations, so how do you counter them?
Proactively, build confidence. Have a really clear, comprehensive FAQ section. Offer a strong guarantee, take the risk away from them.
Makes sense. Reduce their perceived risk.
And consistently over-deliver, exceed their expectations. That builds huge trust and positive word of mouth.
Good point. So anticipate objections. Put yourself in their shoes. What would make you hesitate? Then build solutions right into your offer and how you talk about it.
Exactly. Okay, so you have your offer, you've addressed objections. Now, launching. The book says don't just open, you need to launch. Like a movie.
Yeah, that's the comparison. Hollywood doesn't just drop a film into cinemas quietly. There are trailers, press campaigns, interviews, building buzz before opening night.
Creating anticipation.
Right, so people are eager and waiting when it finally arrives. Without that buildup, even a great product might just fizzle out.
There's that example of Carol Gajda and Adam Baker's info product Fire Sale. They planned the launch meticulously.
And made, what, over $185,000 in 3 days? Shows the power of a well-orchestrated launch. Lots of communication beforehand, building excitement, providing value.
So don't just put it out there. Plan a launch sequence. Build anticipation. Make it an event.
Definitely. Now, after launching, you need to keep getting the word out. The book talks about being a hustler. What's that mean here? Not in a shady way, right?
No, not at all. It's about finding the balance, doing really good work, producing quality stuff, and being willing to talk about it authentically.
So substance plus promotion.
Exactly. It contrasts the hustler with the charlatan, all talk, no substance, and the martyr, great work, but won't promote it so nobody knows. The hustler does both.
That makes sense. You need both quality and visibility. The book even gives a template for outreach.
Yeah, a simple way to personally reach out to your network, let them know what you're doing, ask for their help spreading the word. Genuine, not spammy.
Building connections. And it mentions creative hustling, too, like Karen Starr's mural for her business.
Right.
Thinking outside the box to get noticed.
Right. So the takeaway is, figure out authentic ways to promote your work. Make it part of your routine. Connect with people.
Okay, so the business is running, you're hustling, now what? The book talks about tweaking for growth. Small changes, big impact.
Yeah, the idea is you don't always need massive overhauls. Often, small, smart adjustments in key areas can significantly boost your income or efficiency, like fine-tuning.
What kind of tweaks are we talking about?
Things like improving your website conversion rate, getting more visitors to buy or sign up, testing different headlines or calls to action, maybe finding ways to attract slightly more traffic each day, or increasing the average sale price a little bit.
Upsells, cross-sells, bundles.
Exactly, small nudges. The book highlights 3 main areas: getting more traffic, converting more of that traffic, and getting more revenue per customer. And it stresses selling more to existing customers. They already trust you.
Right, easier sell. So continuous improvement. Always be looking for those small refinements, testing things out. Don't just set it and forget it.
Good advice. Now, as things grow, there's a big decision point. Stay small or go big. The freedom business idea.
Yeah, that fork in the road. The book features Cherie Villard deliberately choosing to keep her business small to maintain her freedom, that nomadic lifestyle.
Which goes against the traditional idea that business growth always means hiring more people, getting bigger offices.
Right. And Jessica, the bookkeeper, actually went back to being a one-woman shop. More control, lower costs, less stress for her.
So it's not a failure to stay small.
Not at all. Success is defined by your goals. What kind of freedom do you want? That's the key question. Make conscious choices that align with that vision.
Makes sense. Another trap the book warns about is getting stuck working in the business, not on it.
Oh yeah, the reactive mode. constantly putting out fires, answering emails, fulfilling orders. You never step back to think strategically.
So working on the business means what? Planning, strategy.
Exactly. Higher level stuff. Planning new directions, analyzing what's working, improving systems, maybe developing new offers. The things that actually grow and sustain the business long term.
And the advice is to actively schedule time for that.
Yep. Block out dedicated time, no distractions, just to focus on the business. Not get lost in the daily weeds. Schedule it like any other important appointment.
Crucial discipline. Okay, final piece of advice from the book seems really direct. Focus on the money. Where is it coming from? Simple, but effective, basically. Figure out what's making you the most money and do more of that. Don't waste tons of energy trying to fix the things that aren't working well.
Double down on the winners.
Right, like Erica Kosminski realizing she could use her HR skills differently, leading to a whole new, more profitable business. Or Silly Pines going back to a part-time job to ease pressure on her creative business so she could focus its efforts better.
So regularly look at your income streams. Where's the value being generated? Prioritize those activities. Cut the stuff that's draining resources without much return.
Ruthless prioritization, essentially. Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We've covered a lot from the $100 startup. Key takeaways.
Well, first big one. Starting something meaningful and profitable doesn't need huge cash or complex structures. That's super liberating.
Definitely. And focus relentlessly on providing real value, solving problems, meeting emotional needs. That's the core.
Think about how you'll get paid right from the start.
Right?
And seriously consider that recurring income angle for stability. Craft that compelling offer, right person, right promise, right time. And don't be shy about authentic promotion, that hustle.
And remember those small tweaks, continuous improvement. Plus, be intentional about the kind of freedom you actually want from your business. Stay small or grow. It's your choice.
Absolutely. The stories and ideas here really do offer a practical roadmap if you're looking to change how you work, create something new that aligns with who you are.
So maybe the final thought to leave everyone with, consider this. What's the absolute smallest, tiniest step you could take, like today or this week?
Yeah, just to explore one idea or use one skill you have to offer a little bit of value to someone. What's that first tiny hurdle you could clear right now? What's really stopping you from just starting?